He starts with a section with the section header, "Everything is proceeding as I had foreseen," quoting the emperor. And he goes into a number of points in the story where the emperor seemed to see certain kinds of destiny. But at the same time, the emperor was making it a point to actively invest in trying to actualize the kind of future that he wanted. And then ultimately, at the end, he ends up being proven wrong about what he quote unquote foresaw because he's defeated. So the emperor kind of wants to be some kind of puppet master, and he actually has a tremendous amount of control and influence. But in the end, he can only go so far because the free will of individuals, such as Anakin, were really outside his control. Eberl suggests that this pulling of strings is similar to some views of God. In this kind of view, because God made us free, God ends up having, quote, "about as much power over us as the Emperor does over Luke and Vader," end quote. But whereas the Emperor's inability to overpower free will is the limitation of him being a mere mortal, God's limitation is by choice. So Eberl says, "God chose to create us with freedom of will, unlike droids or stormtroopers, and thereby elected to limit his own power to pull our strings. Though omnipotent, even God can't control us because of the way he created us. This allows us to be responsible for our moral choices and merit whatever reward or punishment we deserve." So then he transitions to discussing ancient Sumerian and Greek ideas of fate and determinism. He raises the problem of future contingent propositions, citing Aristotle's maxim, "either there will be a sea battle tomorrow or there won't." The idea is, if it's conceivable for somebody to make a statement about the future, does that imply that the future exists and free will must be an illusion? So he expands on that, and then he provides two different resolutions to that problem. And then he transitions to defining and explaining libertarian free will and the idea of the power of contrary choice, which he kind of places in opposition to the idea of the will of the Force that Star Wars uses. So he cites a number of Star Wars references where people use the phrase.